made it home. We made it to the house finally. We're getting ready to go to summer. Oh, wait a minute. The car show's over, right?
Yeah, it's over. Plus, we only have an hour left, so by the time we get there, we'll be sweeping.
Yeah, I was gonna get my broom ready, start sweeping over there once we got to the car show, but we didn't make it.
So you were gonna sweep the car show, right?
Yeah, just
the
clean
leftovers.
everything up, make sure that we can do it again next year, so maybe next year we can make it. It was fun watching your face when they were loading the car into the.
Was that making all of this?
Yeah, I have it on video.
He has it on video, so you'll get to see it.
I'm gonna show David's face reaction. Right here, David. You gotta get close, man.
So first of all, prior to buying the car, when you guys do buy a GTR, you guys should know that one of the only problems that they do have is going to be the transmission. So I known this before I purchased the car. I researched it. I knew that I didn't want a 2009, so this is 2010. So I decided to buy a 2010. Not super low miles, just something. I think I had about 45,000 miles when I got it. So prior to that, I've known that these cars have transmission problems. All the services were done at Nissan, authorized dealership, in Idaho, where I picked it up from. Very common. If you guys look up GTR transmission problems, you can look it up on YouTube, on Google. You guys will see that is a very common problem. Knowing that these cars had that problem, I still wanted to buy it. It was my dream car, so I still bought it. The day of that car show, I got up, I started driving. Who do we got here? Oh, I'm trying to make a vlog here, being interrupted. It's my beautiful daughter. So I bought it, no problems, drove it. I would only drive it on Sundays. Drove it, I think it was maybe twice a month. So twice a month. So do I miss it? A little, not as much as you guys would think. So I drove it on this road. I knew the car was acting up. I was doing like 35 miles an hour. I went through all the gears manually. When I put it in fifth, it drove. It felt good. It drove. It was going, and went on limp mode. Horrible feeling, guys. If you guys have ever had a car that goes on limp mode, it is one of the worst feelings because you step on it, you can't drive it, you can't do anything. It's very frustrating. You feel powerless. It sucks. If you guys have a car like this, anything like that has paddle shifters, if it ever goes into limp mode, you guys know and you understand, it sucks. So I went into limp mode, pulled over to the side. I decided to pull out my Cobb Access Sport. I pulled it out, I reset it, I turned on the car. After I turned it on, it shut off, like protecting itself, right? The car's trying to protect itself. I didn't know that I shouldn't maybe have started it, right? But me being the guy that I am, I needed to get to that car show, right? So I started it again. It started, and it went into first and second gear. It wouldn't shift out of first and second now. It was doing about 5 miles to 10 miles an hour, and then boom, it just locked. It locked. So what I think happened, and we haven't diagnosed the problem as far as taking it apart or anything like that. It has sensors or solenoids, magnetic solenoids inside that have little shims, like little cylinders, and they shift at certain points. And what happens is the little shims, this is what I think happened, right? These little shims are supposed to be squared, and they get rounded. So the computer didn't realize what gear it was in. I'm thinking because it came to a halt, it went in reverse, right? If it makes sense, or it got stuck between the gears. I heard a loud winding sound before it happened, and then it freaking just stopped, locked. So now I was stuck in the middle of a street at about, I think it was like, I don't know, like 9:30 or 10 in the morning. And this is May. So again, sorry I've held back to let you guys know. It's just not something that you're very proud of. I guess, your car breaks down, right? Especially that kind of car. I think I owe it to you guys since you guys watch the vlogs. This is why I'm telling you guys the story. If you guys decide to ever one day purchase a GTR, I would suggest you probably buy at least a 2013 and up, I would say, right? I'm stuck in the middle of the street. I'm looking up things on Google, reading forums, things like that. I can't move the car. People are going around me. At this time, Mario calls me. He pulls up. Luis calls me. He asks me if I want breakfast. He brings me a burrito. We're out in the middle of these not familiar neighborhood, hanging out. We pull out our chairs. We're hanging out outside. Mario or Luis, one of those two guys, has a soccer ball. We start playing soccer. We eat up. We have a burrito in the morning like it's no big deal. We're waiting for the tow truck. The first tow truck shows up. Couldn't tow it. He couldn't believe it was a GTR. The car is totally locked, guys. So since they dropped it off, so you guys know, This car cannot be moved forward or back. It's literally locked. I received a text from my insurance. This is hours later, right? The show's already probably halfway done. Luis and Mario actually hung out, and I want to thank those guys because they stayed there the whole time.
That would make you more aerodynamic. That's what they say.
What are you watching this?
Or if you flip it up
Skinny
completely
white guy talking shit.
vertical, it's like having an extra set of 8 calipers on your car, and it'll stop you real quick.
I finally was able to get a hold of my friend Mike from Reno Tow and Transport. I know I can count on him when I need him, and I called him. I let him know the situation. I let him know which car I was driving. You know, he brought the necessary tools to tow the car. I suggested, you know, because he knows what he's doing. I suggested to bring his wheels, his wheel dollies, whatever they call them, and he brought his skates. Skates are plastic pieces that go underneath the wheels to help it slide since this car's stuck. At this point, the neighbor had arrived, the corner house. She decided to call the sheriffs. She called the sheriffs. The sheriffs showed up. They wanted us out. They gave us, or 30 minutes, I think is what they gave us. They gave us a time frame. If we didn't get out of there, they were going to call the county, meaning we're going to call our own tow truck. And whatever happens, this is what they told me, whatever happens to the car is not our responsibility. So I know I needed to get it out. So anyway, on a short notice, I called Mike. He got in contact with my insurance for the roadside assistance, right? And he showed up within 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes. But he said, I'm going to go park my tow truck. I mean, not my tow truck, my Peterbilt transporter at the yard. As soon as I drop it off, I'll come over there with my tow truck and I'll get you out of there. He followed through on everything he said. He showed up, him and his wife, again, the owners of the business, they showed up. He got it done. He put the car on the tow truck. Again, the car does not move. It's literally locked. You can try to push it forward or back. If you guys need a tow in Reno, Reno Tow and Transport. As far as the service, Mike's not towing like he did for me for everybody, but I can tell you he's one badass tow truck operator. Like, he really impressed me. He got the car inches from the bed, from like literally going back, and he would stop it. I mean, like no, not even he wouldn't even stress about it. So anyway, that's the story of the GTR. What am I gonna do with it? I know if I called Nissan, it might be covered because all the services had been done by Nissan prior to the car breaking. About 11,000 miles the last time Nissan touched it, and it was all transmission work and things like that. Everything this car has been done by Nissan. The reason that I haven't had Nissan, or I don't want Nissan to fix it, because if they did, they would fix it back to stock. Do I want it back to stock? No, I don't. I don't think you guys would want that either, right? Comment what you guys would do. What would you guys do? Would you guys take it to Nissan, get it fixed, buy a new one, right? That's what some of you guys would say, or a newer one. I like this car. I don't want to get it traded for a newer GTR. I'll tell you guys, I'd rather put a built transmission and keep this car and maybe buy another one down the road. So what am I gonna do? You guys are probably wondering, right? What am I gonna do? I did look at options before I bought the car. I looked at a company called Jack's Racing Transmissions. I've seen what he does. That was my first option before I bought the car, to send it off to Jack's Racing Transmissions. We'll see. I might still send it. I don't know. The kit that they have is about $6,000. So if I did that, I would take the transmission out here. I would have to get a little jacks, you know, to move the car around. You know, wheel jacks is what they call them, and then flip it flip it the other way around and take the transmission out. So that's one option. We'll see what happens. It could be the end of the year. It could be next year. It could be a longer time if I want to spend more money to get a nicer transmission. The reason I haven't fixed it, I guess, so you guys know, is so you guys know I own a tow truck, right? I own a tow truck. I'll show you guys if you guys haven't seen it. For those of you guys that are new to the channel, so there's a tow truck that I own. This truck is fully operational. Tow truck runs, and I want to start a tow business, right? Tow truck makes you money, and this is what they call it, right? Tow truck is an asset. The GTR is a liability. This is a pleasure. It costs money. So which one would you fix if you guys were in my shoes? The tow truck runs, but which one would you get going? Get the tow truck business going, make more money, potentially even own more than one GTR, or fix the GTR just to have pleasure, right? I think you guys would agree that you guys would wait, right? I mean, since I have the other cars. So, but comment, let me know what you guys would do. Again, I want to start a business. The business is priority. I already have the car. I'll show you guys kind of what I'm dealing with here. Let's see, let's unlock it. So I'm gonna start it. So it starts, so everything's fine. For a little bit, it's doing its check. Oh, there it is. So that comes on, this comes on, and if you guys will notice, I'm gonna put it in gear, and it does not do anything. I'll rev it up. Look at it. Doesn't even want to rev up. It goes up to 2,000 RPMs, that's it. It won't do anything. That's all it's doing. And it's in drive. You guys see that? I put it in neutral. It won't even let me rev it up past 2,000. Put it in reverse. It doesn't do anything. In park, same thing. Thank you for watching. And one thing you guys should know, if you guys are gonna play with a car like this, race cars, if you guys are into cars or racing or modifying them, it costs to play, right? So are my feelings hurt? No, it happens. It's part of the game. If I didn't want the headache, I wouldn't have these cars, right? So it costs to play, right guys? Never forget that. It costs to play. These guys went above and beyond to get this car here in the garage, as you guys can see. So when other tow companies can't get it done, they can.
That's right.
Right? Call them if you guys need a tow. What's your guys' number?
622-2729.